So what was it? Sally sells Sally.
I don't do tongue twisters.
Sally works the truck stop. What's up, everybody? Once again, I am here to harass you and annoy you and to really, get this man on deck. He's a legend. He's going to tell you he's not a legend.
Probably.
I think he's a legend. This is a man. Let me tell you something. We were talking outside about, like Frankenstein being the first movie, right? But there's no horror scene without Steve Barton.
Yeah, I mean, it was I've been doing this 30 years. I'm self-taught. My mom, when I was a little kid, she, I wasn't like your ordinary teenager. I never had sports figures or women in bikinis hanging on my walls. I had Freddy and Leatherface and the Tall Man and Jason. So my mom was a little concerned at first. She was like, maybe because she saw how much I love this.
Yeah.
And it's clearly in my DNA. And, one time she said to me, maybe you ought to put some of your energy into something you can make money at. And hi, Mom. I guess I proved you wrong, but not that wrong. Not rolling in it. But, you don't do this for money. At least I don't do this for money. I do it for art. I do it because I love it. I do it because of what I'm passionate about. And I do it because I'm selfish, because I want to see cool shit.
Yeah.
I want cool shit to be made, and if I can expedite that, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, well, we were talking about the horror industry. 2025, 3.89 billion. This year, over almost 5 billion. Next year, going to hit 7 billion, and that's not really coming from studios.
No. Everyone says that when I first started, when I created Dread Central, God knows how long ago. Fuck. In internet years, Dread Central is like a dinosaur now, I guess. But it's still around. I don't know what they're doing, but it's still around. And my tenure there, when I launched and created Dread Central, is I felt it was important to give the indie filmmaker as much as a voice as the studio filmmaker. And the reason why that's important is because, you hear so many people say shit like, you don't know where the next Romero is coming from. You don't know where the next Carpenter, Raimi, etc. Yeah, I do. From the indie scene, where they always come from.
Yeah.
So,
every undiscovered person was nothing independent.
Absolutely.
Unknown.
And unfortunately, at the advent of the internet, because I've been at this for a long time, a lot of sites were not really paying attention to the indie scene. And I was like, no way, that's going to be our bread and butter, and it was. And I guess because Dread Central was always self-owned by me and my partner, I had that luxury, so I didn't have any parent company looking over my shoulder telling me what to do. So for me, it was like the dawn of the internet. It was the wild fucking west, and I was a cowboy, baby,
At least you didn't bling it up like MySpace.
I didn't put a diamond that spun through pictures or anything like that.
Yeah, right. So you I would argue that you are purveyor of the indie horror scene when there was technically no indie horror scene. I mean, there was, but not in the consumption we have today,
right.
Or even 20 years ago.
Right. Well, the thing about art is when you're an artist, I don't care if you're painting, if you're filming, if you're writing, any type of artist, unfortunately, they don't get really recognized until they're no longer here. Like all these, like Picasso and Rembrandt and even Romero, man. I think what made legends of the horror industry like George Romero, like Sid Haig, who I was lucky to have be my mentors, I think it was they never bought into the whole fact that they were legends.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to be treated like everyone else. And their whole thing was, listen, I'm just like everybody else. I'm not a legend. And were you waving at us? Oh. I was like, what the fuck did I do wrong? But
just don't fart. It's forever.
Yeah, man. It's just you're an artist. You should be recognized.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give that recognition to the indie filmmaker because that's the only way that they were going to be able to make headway in an industry that was booming at the dawn of the internet, that no one else is really talking about them.
I think Okay, so this is where sort of I start to find the line with the internet as both a detriment and a benefit. Right? I feel the detriment is everybody thinks they can make this or do this, and so we get a lot of garbage. You know, on the flip side of that, it's a gateway for people who are talented. Right? And so I always like to, we see a saturation in the market, especially with streaming now, right? So we know streaming, has trumped theater going, has trumped DVD sales. Streaming is the way to go. I mean, it's even, you can download a movie today for 99 cents, but still the streaming platform in general has made the market, but there's a lot of shit on it.
Sure.
Well,
I mean, that's it, though. I mean, people, listen, some people are of the mindset that this is a very turnkey thing to do. It is not a turnkey thing to do by any stretch of the imagination. If you want it, you have to do the work.
Yeah.
Like a big misconception about Dread Central in our first few years was that we were getting paid and this and that, and that's not fucking true. We didn't make a dime for 8 years. And the only money that we did make was from our Amazon eShop when we would link to the movies we were talking about. And my partners and I, we didn't take a salary from Dread Central. We felt it was important to pay the writers before that. Even if it was just a little something like, hey, what do you want on Amazon that we could get you? Or something, just to give them something. And then, my typical day was I would get up at 4 a.m. I would update Dread Central till 7:30. 8 o'clock, I went and worked retail till 3 o'clock. I slung fucking video games at GameStop. And then when I got off of GameStop, I went back home and worked on the site again till 1 in the morning. And then I'd sleep for 3 hours and I'd get up and do it again. I did that for every day for 8 years, that exact routine. And it was arduous and costly. It cost me a lot. It cost me... The horror industry, as much as I love it, has cost me everything. It's costed me relationships. It's costed me friends. It's cost me so much. But then, again, it's worth it because it's given me so much.
And that's, that's the entrepreneurial journey. I mean, every entrepreneur out there who has a passion for whatever it is they're doing loses friends, loses family, loses time, loses money. It's those people who stick through that loss that... Now all of a sudden you start to see those gains, right? You start to see things, or during it you notice, okay, things are coming our way, all these great things. And you had mentioned mentor Romero. There's not a lot of people out there to go, my mentor was George Romero. Who could really say that?
Oh, make no mistake, I know how lucky I am. Both George and Sid Haig, they saw something in me that they liked, and maybe it was because I just treated them like everyone else, no matter how much I was fucking geeking out in my own head.
Yeah, right.
And I had them to go to when I had a question, when I didn't understand something. Fuck, dude, that's like having Bigfoot think you're cool enough to know that he really exists, right? So it was an amazing thing. They've taught me so much, and I take that very seriously, because the knowledge they gave me I've kept in my head, and I try to share it now. I try to pass it down because it's important, and it's stuff that people should know, and it's stuff that people wouldn't get from anywhere else. And these two gentlemen, they were so giving of it. And I don't know, the luckiest, they were my father figures. I told George first time I met me that he raised me. I learned my moral compass at a young age from watching his movies. He, through his films, which always held up a mirror to society and what was going on in it, he and his films, they taught me the difference between right and wrong. And my parents were absentee, so I grew up, my mom was in the picture, but she was working 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 11 o'clock at night, and my dad was an alcoholic, so he didn't teach me shit. He came home and went to bed, and I was left to just my own devices, really, and I just watched movies.
Your life is a movie at this point. It really is as a reflect. Like you, it's funny because I've seen movies like that, right, where the parents are absentee parents, and the child is being raised on the movies or the books or the television. I mean, it's literally it's not an uncommon thing. It's happened.
No, my story isn't unique, but I think what is unique about my life is I had these opportunities to meet these people, to learn from them. And that's because, listen, I ain't never seen a shortcut that's worth taking, one that leads anywhere worth being, because it'll get you there quick, but you have no staying power.
Yeah.
And the only way you learn staying power is by doing the work.
And fumbling.
Yeah, and fucking up.
Yeah.
A mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it.
Yes.
Other than that, it's an experience. If you fuck something up, but you learn something, that's an experience, not a mistake.
Yeah, and that's where, again, I go back to this entrepreneurial mindset, right? You're an entrepreneur. Even if you don't think that you are. Like, you ran a business. You started a business. It was a passion project. You grew it. And one day you saw money come from it. You made, you know what I mean? It was.
That was like Christmas, bro.
Right.
That was like Christmas fucking day, and somebody bought me a pony. I was so excited when I was able to quit my retail job,
Yeah,
you know?
right.
And it was also a little bit of validation because,
Yes.
my girl who I was with for all this time, she saw me slaving away for like nothing for years, and I kept telling her it'll pay off, just let me do my thing.
Yes.
And it was a lot of arguing, but to her credit, she had a lot of belief in me too.
Yeah.
It's just that,
This isn't a relationship therapy show, but there really is something in having a partner that has your back.
Right.
I've experienced having a partner that just was like, you suck, you're going to lose, you're a failure.
Well, that's the thing about people. People like to tell you that you can't do it because there's an old saying, and it's true, is misery loves company. And the people who tell you no, the people who tell you you can't, the reason why there's so many of them is because what we do and what we achieve is very hard to do. It's almost once in a lifetime. And the people who tell you no, they're just dreamers who forgot how to dream, and they're upset with you and they want to see you fail because they've become complacent and they know that they're never going to be much more than they are right now. So when you're out there and you're hustling to fulfill your dream, they're looking at you like, yeah, been there, done that, not going to work. Yeah. Bullshit. Don't listen to them. You pull your strings.
Consistency. I forget who I was talking to. I was interviewing somebody one time, and they said it's grit.
Yeah.
It is grit. You have to have... Yes, there's people who start a business and they can't sustain it. They don't, whatever it is, they don't make it. And not to say anything bad about it, shit happens. But there's a grit because like you said, everything's an experience. And when you can learn from that experience and level up your game, absolutely. But what I want to do is I want to get the second half of this interview over to the future of media, Chris Valkyrie. So we're going to have her come. She's going to finish the interview. We're going to put the rest of this interview on the Poisonous Daily podcast. So if you want to know all the secrets, the deep, dark secrets of Steve, Uncle Creepy, Barton, you're going to want to tune into the Poisonous Daily. Steve, I want to thank you. You always got our back. And before we jump, I just want to make really clear, full disclosure, for mine and Tina Krause's production company, Art Lords Productions, Fracture Films, Steve is officially one of our producers.
Yes.
So, making that real clear, he's got our back, we got his. And even if he wasn't our producer, I still got his back. He's bald and got a goatee. You can't go wrong.
Look, watch. We're a nutsack now. You see that?
Valkyrie, you're on deck.
Oh, you in for a treat.
But I know all his secrets.
So, he'll restart.